It's almost like having 100 pairs of shoes, and you're still wearing two or three, right? So what's the point to keep the rest of them? The same is with the playbooks and also the tactics you're using to sell. And I think that the best way to verify this and make sure that they are in use is just a peer-to-peer learning, right? It also reminds me of the education process, right? You can spend hours doing theoretical stuff, but if you never put this in practice, what's the value of that, right? There's an intellectual element of it. I'm not trying to debase that part, but it's important that you can put this in practice and start making something out of it. So I like the way you're taking this whole tool going forward and also trying to embed this in the future practice that will probably have a more emphasis on peer-to-peer learning.
I think there's a lot of great stuff to unpack there, particularly as you can't study sales at university, right? It's something that people learn often on the job. So they get into a role and they have to pick it up. Larger orgs sometimes have structured training programs that you can go through to get up to speed. But the smaller orgs, you're kind of just thrown in the deep end and we see, who sinks and who swims. And that's the type of environment that it is at the moment. And I think certainly peer-to-peer learning is a really useful way to understand what other people are doing and how they're successful, and take that from a real world standpoint and delivering it in your own sales cycles. And that's something that we're completely latching onto, both from a perspective of content, but then also from having that real-time co-pilot with you live, someone just to nudge you in the right direction. The analogies that we use is like having a sat nav with a heads-up display that will tell you when to make a left turn at a junction or which junction to come off on the roundabout. So it's there with you and it's nudging and prompting you at the right time so that you're able to make the decisions based on collectively what your peers have done and how they've been successful in the past.
And I think to your point earlier, where you referenced about how you learned from other sellers and good trends. I mean, in the olden days, you'd basically have to go out with the best sales lady or salesman, watch them in a meeting, and that's not scalable. Whereas it is with this, and that's obviously one of the huge advantages that it brings.
Yeah, the ramp period's a little bit shorter these days for
Yeah.
for salespeople, and it's weird to be sitting on a call not saying anything
But
as it
yeah,
was in person.
yeah,
So
it's also taking the time from the person that actually supposed to sell, right? And they are unhappy. Okay, I have to train all these people that have no clue how to do this while my quota still needs to be met. So why would I spend hours and hours doing that instead of this, right? I mean, it's a little incentive for them. Yeah, you want to be team player, but you get my point.
With the scoring and key moments, if you've got the top score in the team, etc., is a good thing to be. And if everybody's striving for higher scores, it's driving better behaviors. So there's no loser in that scenario.
yeah, and salespeople love some competition. So I just think they very rarely get the competition at a granular level like this, right? It's about what the outcomes are, not what the inputs are. Obviously, AI is like a bedrock of your product offering, and starting 12 months ago, that is an advantage to that. Have you run into any challenges being so AI focused? Like, are there any downsides to it or things to overcome, or even in the go-to-market or sales process, or is it just all gravy?
Some of the more seasoned sales leaders tend to have some biases around AI. Is it accurate, being one? Is it actually going to provide contextual information that's relevant to our organization? And is that accuracy going to be between 90 and 100%? I think that's something that we often get, is the usefulness of AI, because a certain lens is that, okay, it's just chat GPT where you write something in and it sounds like a junior marketing person in terms of its response. So there are some preconceptions and biases there.